The last person had already left. The flowers surrounded my father's grave, but the silence felt louder than the prayers. I stood there, staring at the fresh soil, unable to believe that the strongest man I'd ever known was gone. "Goodbye, Dad," I whispered. For the first time in 32 years, there was no answer. 3 days later, I returned to my childhood home in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Every room still smelled like his coffee and old pine aftershave. My father, Daniel Carter, had lived there alone since Mum passed away 15 years earlier. He wasn't a man who talked about feelings. He fixed things. He showed love by changing your flat tire, mowing your lawn, or slipping $20 into your jacket pocket without saying a word. Growing up, I often wished he'd simply tell me he loved me. Instead, we'd sit on the porch watching thunderstorms without speaking. I mistook silence for distance. I was wrong. As I packed his belongings into cardboard boxes, memories kept sneaking up on me. His fishing hat, the baseball glove we'd used every summer, my 4th grade science fair ribbon that he'd secretly framed. I smiled through tears. Then I noticed something strange. The old workbench in the garage looked different. Dad never moved his tools, ever. But one drawer wasn't fully closed. Curious, I pulled it open. Behind a stack of rusted screwdrivers was a small wooden box wrapped in a faded blue cloth. It had no lock, only 3 words carved into the lid. "For Emily." My name. My heart stopped. I carried it into the kitchen before opening it. Inside were dozens of envelopes, a tiny silver key, an old hospital bracelet, and a cassette tape labeled, "If you found this, I'm already gone." My hands trembled. I found Dad's old cassette player in the basement. After cleaning the dust away, I pressed play. Static crackled. Then, his voice. "Hi, Emmy." I froze. No one had called me Emmy since I was a little girl. "If you're hearing this," then I ran out of time. Tears instantly blurred my vision. I know I wasn't the easiest father to understand. I always thought actions mattered more than words. I hope someday you'll forgive me for that. I covered my mouth, sobbing quietly. Then his voice became heavier. "There's something I never told you." My stomach tightened. "When you were 6 years old, the doctors told me I had less than a year to live." "What?" I sat upright. I survived. But every day after that felt borrowed. I became terrified that if I loved you too loudly, losing me would hurt even more. I couldn't breathe. For 26 years, he had hidden that fear from me. That was the first twist. The man I thought was emotionally distant had actually been protecting himself from saying goodbye. I opened the first envelope. Every envelope had a birthday written on it. Age 18, 21, 22, 23, 35, all the way to age 70. Letters. Dozens of handwritten letters, one for nearly every future milestone. I opened the one marked age 35. "Emily, you're probably worrying too much. You've always carried the world's problems on your shoulders. Please remember, not every broken thing is yours to fix." If you're married, love your spouse on ordinary Tuesdays, not just anniversaries. Ordinary love lasts longer. I cried harder than I had at the funeral. He knew me better than I knew myself. At the bottom of the box sat the tiny silver key. A note beside it read, "Safety Deposit Box 214." The following morning, I visited the local bank. After confirming my identity, the manager unlocked the small metal drawer. Inside rested only one item, a sealed folder. Across the front, Dad had written, "Open only after hearing the tape." I slowly opened it. Inside was a birth certificate, not mine. A little boy named Lucas Carter, born 34 years ago, exactly 2 years before me. Confused, I kept reading. Then I found another letter. "Emily, you have an older brother. His name is Lucas." The words blurred. No. Dad had another child? I couldn't understand. The letter explained everything. Years before meeting Mom, Dad had fallen in love in college. His girlfriend became pregnant. After Lucas was born, she moved across the country and married someone else. Dad spent years trying to stay involved, but eventually the family requested distance. He honored their wishes. He never stopped loving his son, or wondering about him. That was the second twist. Everything I believed about our family changed in one paragraph. Alongside the letter was an envelope addressed to Lucas, unopened. Dad had written, "If Emily chooses, please give him this." Finding Lucas wasn't easy. But social media eventually did what decades couldn't. He agreed to meet. Not because he trusted me, because he wanted answers. We met in a small diner outside Denver. He looked astonishingly like Dad. Same eyes, same crooked smile, same habit of stirring coffee even after adding no sugar. For a long time, neither of us spoke. Finally, he asked, "So, was he a good father?" I smiled through tears. He wasn't perfect, but he never stopped loving people. Lucas quietly nodded. I always wondered why he disappeared. He didn't, I answered softly. He thought leaving was what your family wanted. I handed him the unopened letter. He stared at our father's handwriting for nearly a minute before opening it. As he read, he broke down. "I never hated you," Dad had written. "I hated the distance life placed between us." The diner suddenly felt very small. When Lucas looked at me again, he whispered, "I've spent 34 years believing he forgot me. He didn't." Neither of us could stop crying. Weeks later, as we cleaned out Dad's garage together, Lucas accidentally knocked over an old toolbox. A folded receipt slipped onto the floor. It was from a children's hospital. Annual donations. Every single year. Anonymous. For 28 consecutive years. The donation amount was always the same. Exactly the cost of the chemotherapy treatment Dad couldn't afford when he was first diagnosed decades ago. Attached was one final note. "If another little girl gets more time with her father, then my borrowed years meant something." That was the third twist. Dad hadn't simply survived. He had quietly spent nearly 3 decades helping strangers survive too, without telling anyone, not even us. Months passed. Lucas and I grew close. We became the family Dad had always hoped we'd be. One evening, we sat together on my porch as rain rolled across the Iowa fields. Just like Dad and I used to. No words, just thunder. Then Lucas smiled. "I guess silence runs in the family." I laughed. "It does. But maybe," I looked toward the dark clouds, "we can do one thing differently." I turned toward him. "I love you, brother." He didn't hesitate. "I love you too." For the first time in my life, the words weren't trapped inside someone's heart. They were finally spoken out loud. And somehow, I think Dad heard every single one.